Yeah, I can see your screen.
Nice, nice. So, I see you play a lot of Ash.
Play a lot of Ashe, yes.
Nice.
Um, Ashe, but recent thing, I guess. So
Wait, say that again.
of Ashe, but that's been kind of a recent thing, I guess,
Ah, okay,
or a
okay.
decision of mine. Uh,
I
I
mean,
guess.
honestly, if it's winning, then it's good, right? Um,
Yeah, I remember um, many months ago. I played all different kind of ADCs. This season was the first season I was saying to myself, I'm gonna take it a bit more seriously, and I decided I really enjoy playing Zaya. I'm gonna stick with her. I think I was just doing so much. I was being very inconsistent with her.
mhm.
It was just so much more simple and straightforward. So
Agreed, agreed.
yeah,
Uh,
so this season, like I've been slowly just kind of accepting that maybe Ashe is a bit better of a pick.
I guess these are all Ash games then.
So game 2 and 3 are Ashe games. Game one was a Zaya game. It Game one I felt was probably the worst to look at. I just felt Dan I played pretty poorly, pretty obviously.
Uh huh.
Games 2 and 3 were a bit more uh, like how I usually play.
Okay, good,
Or
good to know. Good to know. I like how you muted all at the start. That's always good. Usually,
the
people in solo queue don't really have anything good to say.
Yeah,
Um,
I started watching your videos about a week ago and kept telling people to mute everyone, and so
yeah,
I just kind of went with it.
uh, wait, so in terms of your gameplay, what do you think you're good at slash what do you think you need to work on?
Boy, I wrote all this down. Um, so I thought I was thinking to myself, I think I'm
Holy fuck.
at playing safe. I playing safe relative to the elo, and I think I have a good focus on S. So I catch side waves a lot more than I think there's this rank tend to do, and I think that's to my benefit. But what I'd like to work on, yes, just consistency as well as I think sometimes I play too passive. Uh,
Interesting.
I maybe but I know I like it wasn't one of these games because it happened before I recorded it. But I just think off the top of my head, there was a game where I was 7-1 on Zaya and we still lost, and we're just run down. Uh, team would just get absolutely annihilated, and then I'd be left in a 1v4, right? And maybe there was a way I could have or found
Okay,
more.
okay. We'll see if some kind of ideas like that come up. Like we're playing to passive slash maybe we need to do something more proactive. But for the time being, in this next 3 seconds of your replay, tell me what's going on here.
So at my understanding, the lane's just begun.
Yep.
They're trying to auto minions, or at least that's what I typically imagine this lane goes.
So why are we trying to auto minions? What's the
Auto.
reasoning?
So you want auto minions because you want to reach level 2 first.
Mm, good, right? So now in terms of execution, right? You're like, okay, we need to get level 2 before them. Are we gonna get level 2 before them? Looking at these minions.
I would say, yeah, we will.
Agreed, right? You just have more minions, right? So how do you get it? How do you get level 2? You just hit the minions, right?
We just matches
Wait,
autos.
What do you mean by match?
For like, as long as we do more or equal or more damage than he is, we already have more minions, so we should hit level 2 before.
Okay, that's like, kind of, this is like technically true from like a mathematical standpoint. Um, but the big idea is you don't really. It's fine to just. I'm not sure the idea of match is quite right here. You just want to outright get level 2 before they do, right? Like as fast as possible is the idea. Not just like at the same time, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? So if I said, let's get level 2 as fast as possible, what are we doing differently? Well, what are we doing that's not getting level 2 as fast as possible?
Maybe taking a trade that wasn't really focused on autoing the minions.
Right. So we were trying to do some kind of ideas of going for a volley, right? And then here we're not hitting minions either. So it's kind of, if you're looking for, sometimes you play too passively. It's more of something like look for your opportunities, right? So like one opportunity would be getting level 2 first, and then maybe we can punish, right? Something like that, and or looking to basically looking for level 2 is like the first opportunity you get, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of what you want and how you execute it, they have to be on the same page, right? So if you want a level 2 first, you wouldn't go for that volley, for example, right? Instead, maybe you do something like hit them and the minions, or only hit the minions and then walk up and volley after you get level 2, right? Something along those lines. Nice volley there. That was really clean. So how do you think your laning is compared to your counterparts?
What was that?
How do you think your laning is?
I mean, I don't. I guess I don't want to say I don't know, but it just feels inconsistent. I guess like some lanes I really do feel like kind of crush. I feel like I take pretty positive trades. Happening though is I can never seal the deal on the lane.
Okay. Okay. We'll definitely take a look at that because it looks like you're winning a lot of trades / small fights, right? So how come we didn't kill Lulu here though? Just as a side note.
I was just thinking. I mean, you're right. Now in hindsight, I should have killed her. I was just thinking positive trades. Now I'm just sitting between a bunch of ranged creeps, but we absolutely could have blown her up.
So here's the idea. Is the way you can know you can kill anyone in any given situation, right? So the first one is, how do you kill her? So how do you do it?
I just slow with all my autos, so I just chase, and if she has any escape, I have flash anyways, so.
Right, so she doesn't have flash, but you just run her down, right? You just right click. And then
yeah.
the second part is, so one, we identified a way to kill her, and she can't stop it. Right? That's the first requirement you need. And then the second one is, can they stop you? So can they stop you?
No. The other ADC just splashed away, I guess.
Right, I would say the other ADC is pretty much dead / 1 HP. Jungle, if we were paying attention to map, is mid, but honestly, even if Jungle is here, getting this kill is good. You can probably even get away from the jungle. And of course, there's no TP level 3. So that's how you know that you can just get this guy, right? Is that one, there's a way to do it, and two, they can't stop you, right? So maybe something, thinking of, how to find opportunities like that could help you with the idea of maybe being too passive, right? Is one, you find the opportunity, and two, you figure out whether or not they can stop you, right? And then if they can't, then you're good to go.
That makes sense. I think that happens a lot of my games. I guess I don't recognize points where I can just go in, and so I'll end the lane with a solid CS lead or good trades, but there's no kill that comes out of it. There's no real solid lead.
Well, would you say that a CS lead is a solid lead?
I would say it's a solid lead, but I just sometimes feel that with those leads I can be extending it, and I don't do it as well as I could be. Like right there, that was a kill.
Hold on. This was a kill. This is a kill.
Is it? I was thinking like I can't volley through the minions, so I needed to sidestep the minions.
Right. So, tell me, how do you kill him?
Minions, I guess, and volley auto chase.
But then he jumps away. Then what?
Afterwards?
You said you could kill him here, right? Isn't that what you just said?
I couldn't kill him. I thought we would get like a really positive trade, but I thought Lulu had everything up. So.
Oh, I must have misheard then. Never mind. Yeah, you can't kill him there, right? So what you did there was fine, right? It was actually good try on the follow up, but there's nothing else there. You did good. Nami was doing some crazy stuff though. I don't know what she was doing.
Nami pops off this game, by the way. She goes like 6 kills and something. Like,
yeah, she's landing all these bubbles.
What happened with Nami?
So if you want to kind of be aggressive in lane, I guess, or maybe be less passive. Ooh, how do you know what to do in lane based on the matchup? What do you think? You said you've seen some of my coaching videos, right? Do I ever talk about laning and matchup and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I know you actually kind of break them down in a pretty, and I guess like types of lane. So,
oh, clean.
Oh my god, you took the kill. But you have your poke, trade, all in, catch. That was the other one.
Catch.
Yeah.
Poke, trade, all in, catch, right?
You described as kind of a trade catch lane.
Agreed. And you've been doing that the whole lane, which is why you guys are just shit stomping them, right? For the most part, you guys are doing that, right? So that's kind of how you know what you can do, and people kind of treat that as aggression, but it's just more of, are you kind of playing the game out correctly, right? In your favor, like, are you using your strengths properly, right? Which is your trading. So you guys are doing good.
Would you say that I'm like this lane has been going according to plan, I guess, so far?
Mm-hmm. Wait, was that a question or was that like a statement or?
That was just a question, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's going well, right? Okay, so if there's anything to fault you, what would it be for? What do you think? Besides missing like kill on Lulu or whatever.
And maybe the level 2.
Oh, that's true. And level 2. What would you say? What would you say? Maybe it could be even better, but I'm not too worried about it yet.
Wait, so Lulu in the level 2 push?
Besides the level 2 stuff.
I guess just CSing and punishing the Lulu.
You guys already kind of punishing by trading a bunch and landing bubbles, but yeah, the CSing is probably we're missing some that we shouldn't, right? Like for example that minion, right? Or the one after that. But honestly, you actually got that one. It was the one before, but there are some kind of ideas of using volley as well that I think we could work on. In terms of, would you say this is good value on your volley?
I would say it wasn't. I think I used it just because I noticed I didn't kill it. So
yeah, that's what I thought too, right? I would recommend don't use it to last hit pretty much ever, right? Because you know what happens if you use your volley like this. Like, why would we say this is not good usage?
I mean, I'm kind of honestly lucky that I hit the Tristana, but
even if you hit her, it's not good usage.
Okay, I guess an auto afterwards, so I'm not getting the frost damage either. It's just
right. It's low value mechanically in terms of we didn't auto cancel and matchup based. Without your volley, how do you trade?
Out my volley, we land bubble, or you know.
No, like you can't trade. Is the idea we're getting at here, right? You can't trade because where's your damage ability, right? They could actually win trades if we're missing abilities that we use to trade. Like say for example, you're playing Varus, right? And you use E on the minion, and then you try and trade. What happens?
You're just gonna lose the trade.
Right, exactly. So even if you're a trade lane, you're gonna lose because you're like you're not worth much in the trade anymore, right? So that's why, you know, maybe sometimes we're having some issues with using volley correctly, because I saw that happen level 2 as well, right? We're just trying to like hit him with volley, but there's no auto attack afterward or anything like that. When would, you know, volley only be a good idea? What do you think?
I guess if I know I can follow up with an auto afterwards, and
Well, be like, let's say you can't follow up with an auto, you know, just spraying them down. When would that be good value? What do you think?
know I can hit it.
Well, remember how he said in the situation you showed me, you hit him and it wasn't. We said it wasn't good, right?
So you're saying even if I'm not in auto attack range?
Right. Is there a situation where just hitting them with volley would be good?
Low or kill range, like
Right. If they're low or anything like they're pretty much if they're low, right? Because then your volley becomes pretty good. It's taking away like 25% of their current health or something like that. Let me watch this. This is really good. So I don't really know how we lose, because so far we're really clean, but maybe something like this could tell us the answer. So why do we arrow here? What's the idea?
I think we arrow to edge, but I think you're just gonna say wait for the wave to crash.
Right, wait for the wave and or bubble, right? There's no real need to I don't see how this works when she can just press W.
Yes, I think I'm thinking back to when I did this, and I remember my thought process was I arrowed before, like I didn't react to her bubbling. I was gonna arrow anyways up, but then she waves before, but I should have just held on to it anyways, I guess.
Right. Holding on to it until you know for sure, right? So how'd you know for sure at this point? We're not sure, right? It's better to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could W here and she'd be forced to jump away anyways, right? So that's one thing that one kind of idea that could be happening is that even if you get ahead, we might be missing abilities that makes it so we're less effective than we should be, right? Something like missing arrows or missing volley value matters a lot less later in the game, but something like that could be a reason, right? You're also dying to a gank here, by the way. Oh my god, are we out? Wait, Nami just leaves you. You're dead anyways. You guys are dead no matter what. So this is actually another thing that could be how you lose is if you ever die after the laning phase. What do you call that?
Throwing your lead.
Right. It's called a throw, right? So anything like this is also throwing, right? Because you played against Kazakhs before, right?
Oh, he's so tilted. I can't.
Yeah. How cancer is it if your mid laner gives a kill to Kazakhs? And then he just comes by and kills everyone.
Yeah, Kaz gives me a lot of trouble.
Right. So this is the same thing, but in reverse, right? Is that if you give a lead to their jungler, right? We're probably gonna have a problem later. And you guys were stomping this lane, right? Sure, you know, maybe the CS isn't where it should be, but their CS is like 30 down or something like that, right? I don't know if we saw a scoreboard somewhere, but let me see. Is there a scoreboard here? Yeah, he's actually 30 down, right? So you guys are pretty much stomping these guys, right? So what's the idea here is you know, how do you know when you can push up? How do you know?
Die, I guess.
Say again?
If you know you can't die, like no.
Right. So what requirements do you need in a kind of standard game to not die to gank? You know, what do you need to have?
Vision.
You don't necessarily need vision, right? But vision can help, right? It can say, oh, this guy's here, we should just back off, right? But let's say you don't have vision. What else?
I guess you just need to know that whatever situation you'd be found in, you'd be winning. So
this is true. But there's a general rule of thumb that'll help you with that, so you don't have to always calculate it every game.
I don't know, just numbers.
We're assuming that they always have 3 people, you always have 2. You know, no TPs, no counter gank, nothing like that. So let's say you had 20% health, and they had 20% health. Are you dying to gank?
I would say yes.
Why is that?
Because it's Kaz. I feel like he would just.
Well, let's say it's Skarner. Is it the same? Is it the same? Does the outcome change?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Okay, if you're 5% health and they're 5% health in the lane, right? And then the jungler comes out. Okay, now what happens?
I would just pop both of them.
Right. So, wait. Say that again.
I'm like, if they're that low, just. If they were that low, they'd be risking it.
Right. So let's say they're super low into tower. You guys are pushing them in, and you're super low. What happens when the jungler comes to gank? How do you hit them? How do you hit them with volley? Because they just back off, right?
The gank, like we would die.
Right. You guys are gonna get smited and you immediately die, right?
Is my audio not coming through sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's like a little shaky. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it cuts off, but it's been understandable. So I haven't really said anything.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why. Sometimes like I'll say something.
It's kind of weird. Are you like close to your mic or something like that?
I'm kind of far away. Let me see.
Yeah, because if you're far away, sometimes it like does that. I don't know. My mic is in my face, so.
I'll just hold it closer then, I guess. Sorry about that.
No worries. So, yeah, back to our kind of discussion at hand. Let's say if you have 5 HP, okay, and they have 5 HP, and they sit under tower in this position, what happens to you in a gank?
I just get blown up.
Right. So, let's say you have 20% health, and they have 20% health. Now, what happens?
I feel I still lose the gank. Like I still die.
You still one-shots you, right? Okay, how about 50% health? What happens? Both sides are 50%.
I still feel like I would die.
I agree. Okay, so what does that tell you? How about 90% health? And they have 90% health. Now it's getting unsure, right? Now you're not sure.
Yeah, we could probably just run away if they don't have that much.
Right, so what does that tell you between the relationship of how much health you have and the gank is coming? What does that tell you?
I guess just the more health, the higher percent chance that you just survive the gank.
Right, the more health you have, the better when it comes to gank is coming, right? So that's one of the requirements you need in order to survive a gank, right? It is full HP.
Yes.
Right. So in this situation, that would tell you don't trade, no matter what. Right. You guys just want to push. Right. And then the second thing that you need is what do you think?
It's vision, I would say.
Besides the vision, right? We have full HP, and what else do we need to survive a gank if we're pushed up? Let's say they have an Elise, and she's gonna throw a cocoon at you. How do you dodge it?
Flash, like outplay potential.
Right. So you need flash as well. So if you have flash and full HP, you can't die to gank. That's the golden standard in pushing in bot lane, right? And the exceptions are something like they have Rammus, Kalista, Thresh, or something like that. And then no matter what, you're gonna die, for example. But overall, if you have full HP and you have flash, you're good to go. So tell me what happened in this case.
Well, first I go for a trade when I was full HP.
Right, and then
I also just didn't see Kha'Zix. Like I didn't have the awareness to.
Right. So the big idea here though is that you can beat out a gank without having vision, right? But of course, you just need to look at the map in this case, right? But the big idea is you should know that you never want to do this if you don't know where the jungler is. You got close enough for them to follow up with jump, for example, right? And then they just kill you. So there's nothing really you can do because you didn't have flash and we tried to take a trade. So that's kind of our problem. Of course, now everyone's gonna die here, right? If you fast forward, Fear is just dead. Now you see how even though you can be doing really well, a lot about League in terms of making sure we close out the game is just not throw it, right? Is the idea. You don't have to do anything extra, really. Notice how you missed a kill on Lulu. We didn't get our level 2 advantage that we could have. It doesn't matter. You were already winning lane, right? Hello? Oh, I think you're cutting out. I can't quite hear you.
Right in my microphone, so I like.
Well, I mean, I can hear you now, but
I don't know what happened.
Sorry, what'd you say before your mic cut out?
I just assumed what you were saying. Like I think I understand.
Right. So those are kind of the big ideas we're probably gonna be looking at today, right? So here's another one, right? How do we know this arrow is gonna hit?
I don't.
Right. I don't either, which is why I'm questioning it, right? Because I don't know what the arrow is supposed to do, right? You have to have some kind of concrete reason, right? So when I play Ashe, I'm thinking something like, there's a committed fight, they can't get away. They can run in one direction, they can't get away, right? Anything like that. In this case, it doesn't look like there's a committed fight, right? They're just walking away. So I would, what should you do instead? What do you think I would say?
I would just say not use arrow, like hold on and wait for it.
I just say hold on to it, right? Always hold on to it. Holding on to it will be right more times than not, because I think there's some kind of like human psychological factor that says we want to use these abilities because it's super cool and it's super fun. If I hit them, it's gonna be awesome. But then most of the time, it's not kind of quite right to use them, right?
Makes sense.
I'd actually say that volley was pretty much fine because you could hit both. But in lane, just remember that volley without auto attack, if you're trying to trade, is not the best, right? But honestly, I don't think volley, value is really gonna matter too much. It's more of arrows when you're playing Ashe. Let's see what's going on here. Pause. Are you safe? Are you safe from gank?
I am, because we're full health and flash up, so.
Correct. So as long as you don't initiate a trade, you can't die to gank. You just flash, you just arrow, you're good to go, right? That's how you know that you don't need to be afraid of a gank, is because if he ganks, you guys are winning. You guys are gonna get away. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay, very nice. What's going on here? He's trying to gank after the fact. You probably need a flash, but you definitely need a flash. Okay, this guy is killing himself. What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know what he was doing.
Good stuff though. Good stuff though. You pretty much played that correctly, right? You could maybe say something like you should aim Lulu, but honestly, it didn't matter. You weren't gonna get either of them. So he dove, which is nice for you guys, I guess. So you just kill his ass. So if I said there was an alternative you can do here besides pushing, what would it be?
Slow pushing.
Okay, slow pushing is good too. But if you don't hit these minions, what happens?
Crashes in the tower.
Well, let's say you hold on to them by like standing onto the side.
Saying like just freeze the wave.
Yeah, you can freeze, right? So if you're super far ahead like you are right now, what happens when he goes for a minion?
If she lands any bubble or.
Okay, this is true, but what's something that you can do that's not based off bubble?
Trade, I think.
Right. You guys want to trade. So he walks up, you trade, you guys are winning, right? And then you trade hard enough, you can ulti him, and then you can catch him, right, into an all-in, something like that. Okay, pause. Are we safe from gank?
Because we don't have flash or vision.
Right. So that's how we know that we can die to a gank here. That okay, good. You guys went to a ward, but Kha'Zix's being dumb and all, he can go invisible when he goes in that bush. But something like you need something like Lux being here, right, to beat this game, which is actually kind of smart. What this Lux is doing, it's just that you guys don't know if this is warded. So if she had a pink ward, it'd be much better. But okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I remember you saying like you don't. Oh my gosh, she got blown up.
Amazing. Oh, we're dying here. Even if you heal.
Are you saying like don't ward when you don't have the minions pushed to tower?
So this example here when you went up to ward, right?
Because I think I remember you saying in one of your videos, like, you just give up pressure. Since I just felt.
So what happens if you word this right now? And Kha'Zix is in this bush.
I'm dead.
Right, that's why. So how do you check this? Right, how do you check this stuff?
Use E.
Right, use E and pretty much use volley, anything. Right, and the reason why you're dead here is kind of interesting in this lane is because Tristan is going to jump in. Right, does that make sense? Is that their laners can help? Why can their laners help in this case?
They have mobility.
Right. Where are they standing in the lane as opposed to under their tower?
Pushed up, like.
Right, they're in the middle, right? So the difference between them being able to help when you ward now versus after you push is that they can help immediately versus they're stuck at their tower, right? So that's why is that you need to push before you ward. But sometimes you're super desperate like this, and you're like, I don't know where he is, so you have to check first with like volley or your hawk shot, and then you ward, right? But that's the general idea, is that you should push before you ward, because look how far away they are now, and compared to like where they are in the middle, right? So what happened here was that I think we're just like walking forward for some reason. How come we're walking forward?
I think it was just I guess. Like, I was just saying, good job, we killed Trist, like decisions that weren't really being thought of as critically as other decisions. I was just like, whatever, I'm walking around, we killed her.
All right, I'll say, you know, kind of unlucky, but the predator above your head kind of tells you that Kha'Zix is ganking, right?
Yeah,
but honestly, that's not something to worry about as much as the first gank, for example, right? Or maybe missing arrows or anything like that, right? Those are much more important. You're definitely gonna win this as long as you can land arrow, right? Oh, that was a sick volley. Take a look at this.
Sure.
Hot damn. Field goal right there. You just kill his ass. Very nice. Easy kill. Just push this in. I think you're dying to Kha'Zix here if you don't know where he is. Okay, you guys
like,
are trying to get another way.
I feel like there's so much vision bot side.
Well, if you don't know where he is, you have to assume he's here, right? Oh, I don't know if you want to hope this. Oh, okay. This is a maybe, but I think someone's just gonna die because Fizz is Fizz, right? Right.
Dead.
Okay, let's watch this. Okay, Kha'Zix is actually dead, so this is just straight 2v2. So let's take a look at what happens here. You're just trying to help this guy, sure. And then your buddy just dies. So what went wrong here?
I think I should have just realized that she was dead to rights.
There are two things here. If this is a pure 2v2, she's just gonna die, and there's not much you can do about it, right?
Then I'm just left in a 1v2, which I'm losing.
Right. But if you look at the map, what's different about this situation?
Waves are pushing.
Who's this person? Who's this person that just came here?
He's on it right. Nami's coming.
Right. So she's on the way. So this is actually 3v2. So if you just went up, I think you're good to go. So there's like kind of two things going on here. Is one is we're trying to help someone, but they're super fucked. So doing something like this is fine, right? You're like, oh, maybe you can help, and we're still safe, right? But then when she dies, you have to reevaluate and be like, oh, no, can we help anymore? I think Yuz is also kind of unlucky because he Q's through her, so he got a lot closer than you thought he would.
Yeah, I definitely was caught off guard because Lulu flashed, and so I was kind of pathing inwards, and then
right.
He suddenly gained so much distance, and I was
Right,
dead.
but I think the common factor between the last few fights has been map awareness, right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's just Nami was here? If you had known, you could have gone to her. Something like Kha'Zix was ganking through wards. If you had looked at the map, you would have seen, right? Anything like that. I think is definitely something you could work on for sure, right? Map awareness is always like a top 5 thing someone should work on, and it's not even like a mechanical skill or anything like that. It's just, oh, look at the map and evaluate whether or not the enemy is coming for you, right? Or seeing where your teammates are. you don't have to be like super good at the game to work on map awareness. So map awareness is always good, right? Honestly, working on map awareness makes you better than most players. So, okay, we need to hawk shot this. Nice. You are looking for a Kazakhstan. Oh, how do you know this is good?
This was good because right now the team is chasing. I feel like they're gonna pad through the bush. I don't think they're gonna see it, and if it lands, like that was my view. But I guess what you're gonna say is we don't know it's good.
Well, I think it's good if this guy wasn't already dead. He's already dead, so your arrow's not gonna do anything, right?
She does die before, like
right. So how do we know is that she's already dying, right?
Okay.
So what do? You save it, right? You save it until you know for sure, right? So when I look at this situation, I'd say something like, "Oh, this guy's already dead, right? I don't need to arrow this." And if he's not dead, then we can arrow after, right? There's nothing saying that we have to use it now. Otherwise, there's nothing afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So I would say always hold on to it because the arrows we've kind of successfully landed were they were the right idea, but I think you needed to wait on your execution, right? Against Tristana, you just very good, right? 10 out of 10. I couldn't do better, but against the other opportunities you were looking for, I think waiting would have worked in your favor in all times, right? Okay, this guy's just gonna die because he has no bomb. So goodbye. Wait, did he die? Oh! Hold up, let's watch this. Oh no. Okay, whatever. You just push, sure. And then you want to back off because Kazakhstan is here. What's going on? Oh, okay. Press Q. Yeah, Oh, easy kill. Very nice. Right. So how do you know this is good? How did I know this was good?
I guess like I know there's follow up, and I don't think he sees the arrow coming, and I just felt like he was kind of waiting in the bush, so he'd be standing still.
Right. So you have some kind of idea that it's going to hit, and two, you can do something if it hits, right? So like let's say for example you're trying to aim a Malphite, so you know you can hit him, and then the second is can you do anything off it? And the answer is no, so you don't use it, right? So it was very good arrow. That was a 10 out of 10. So we know you can do really good arrows. It's just a matter of hold on to it longer to make sure. You need to double check. Like say for example we're looking at this situation and you see Kazakhs and then you're like, oh, I guess we didn't wait, but waiting is always better than not waiting, I guess. But yeah, but the arrows we've seen, they all have the kind of right idea. It's just some of them have been you need to wait longer to make sure it's good or not, right? It's always good to look for sure. Just got to make sure that it's actually gonna work. Fast forward, this is all 10 out of 10. We're just power farming. The very how come we're walking through here? What happens here?
I guess I'm walking through a bush with no vision. And
right. So who's in that bush? Would you guess? If oh, actually, no, right. We see Kazakh spot. No, right. We're good. We're good. I just thought Kazakh was gonna be here, right? Anything like anything like if you don't see their jungler and you walk through this bush, this is very prone to flash/blast cone, right? So I get triggered when I see this bush. So that's how I know. I've died to it a million times. But we see Kazakh spot, so it's okay. Push mid, sure. And then what's going on? Hold up, where are we going? Where are we going? What's going on?
I was headed, and I think we had vision.
Okay,
so
getting scuttle is fine. I think this is fine, right? Oh, okay, we're trying to fight. What's going on here? We can't really see anything. Okay. Wait, how come we're basing? Hold up. What's the idea behind basing here?
Because I have 1800 gold.
So what are you gonna buy?
Good BF sword.
And then is that worth a base in this situation?
Say so, but I guess not. It doesn't really buy my damage.
It's like when you're always kind of trying to consider, is it worth basing? The other question is, can you do anything better than basing?
Okay.
So, can you do anything better than basing?
Farm bot wave.
Right, you can push bot, right? Or you can help your team, which is what you're doing here, right? I would say those options are much better than basing. Because you don't really have anything crazy to get when you base, right? It's just BF in a pink word, or I guess BF in a crit cloak, right? Oh, okay, same thing here. What happened to this arrow? Same thing, right?
I don't know it's gonna land, I guess.
Right, and then his Mundo, I would say low value, right? Mundo just walks away. Oh my god, what happened? I can't even see it. I guess if you can kill Mundo, wow, I'm impressed. Oh yeah, it turns out it was a good arrow. Very nice.
Like, it looked like a 4-on-4, and so
Right, everyone was there. Looked like you were definitely gonna hit someone. I just thought that if you hit Mundo, he'd just walk away. But it was a good arrow. It was a really good arrow. Very nice. And then, of course, you know, since you guys want to fight, you just take inhibitor. I think you want to go top here. Oh, okay. I think bot is okay here. Sure. Your team kind of okay. Let's talk about this. What happened here?
take inhib.
Right. So what's the best thing you can get now?
Money. Just more, like, or I guess just get as much as we can.
Right. So what else can you get here?
Looks like it's pushed up, I think. And
You guys can get top tower, right?
okay.
Wait, why would I say that? Why would I say you can get top tower?
Because the wave's pushing up. So
Right, Graves is already hitting it. Right, so and they have 5 seconds left, so you can run there, kill it, and then kite, and then base for Baron, right? Anything like that. But I think it's like, yeah, bot has a juicy wave, but what's usually gonna happen to your team if you do this?
right. I do see that a lot in my gameplay. I guess is I sometimes like too much. I guess like there are times where so many times I can count where I've like caught a side wave and then my entire team gets wiped, and it's like
Right. I think this is the case where you catch a side wave, and then the standard idea is you push out your waves and then you do something after that. But I think for you're making the decision to do something when your team is already in the middle of doing something else. Like, say for example, we wanted to base here, right? What is your team doing when you're basing?
they're fighting.
Right, they're trying to do something right now. So if you didn't backping them, then you shouldn't base, right? Let's say you have something really important to buy. You have an Infinity Edge. You spam backping then, right? And you say, this is worth my base. Otherwise, maybe you want to hope this play out, right? Maybe if it goes disaster, you can push out bot, right? But anything besides basing would be better, I would say. That's kind of the idea, right? Same thing when we're kind of at this mid inhib, and then what's going on next? Well, how come no one knows what's going on? People are split. How come someone went bot when everyone else went top? Yet someone has to ping something, right? And then like, oh, we should get top here, or spam back ping on top so you can go get bot, right? But I think if you want to do something like you want to get this bot wave and you don't care about top tower, you should back ping once or twice to let them know that you're not going, right?
Okay. I guess like, I've definitely noticed times where I'll back ping and then they just still go for it, and then they still get wiped, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, Ashe, why didn't you just join? Or like why weren't you here? And I mean,
right. That's not. I mean, if you're spamming back ping, then and they still go for it, then it's like not much you can do about it. But
yeah,
I don't know if you guys want. Oh, you guys, this looks pretty good. You're just gonna kill Mundo, I guess. Just kill Fizz after, kill Lulu after. It doesn't really matter. You have heal. Oh, this is awkward. You want to kill Lulu, I think. Oh, this might be dicey now. Yeah, you guys want to leave. Okay, so I don't think we've really seen any problems with you being too passive. Honestly, we haven't really seen any of that. If anything, it's like we didn't go for level 2, right? Or maybe we didn't finish off Lulu or something like that. But I think the real mistakes this game were anything like map awareness to missing arrows, right? You guys destroyed lane, but then somehow we kind of gave them a way in, right, with the Kha'Zix gank or anything like that. So the big focus I would say for laning would be make sure that same thing with the arrows, right? You know what I mean, right? When I say the arrows are kind of not quite the best value you can get out of them, right? If any value. If there's anything to look at your gameplay, it's making sure we're not dying to some kind of gank and laning our arrows. Everything else is pretty clean, especially at this rank, right? It's very clean, right? Look how well you're doing. in terms of compared to the other AD carry. And I don't think we've really seen any problems with fighting as well. So based off this game alone, it seems like you don't really have any problems when it comes to being too passive, right? It's more of don't die to gank, so that's a work on map awareness. And look at this. This is 10 out of 10. This team fighting is great. And make sure you're not missing arrow, right? Did we even have arrow for this? Oh, we did. Oh, okay. I'll say that should have been good, but your Lux dropped the ball there, right? So you play Ashe a bunch of times. You know what's a good arrow and what's not a good arrow.
Yeah.
Right? All you have to do is make sure now. Now it's about making sure, no matter what, it's gonna be good. Like you hold on to this arrow for as long as possible. It's better to not use it than it is to use it and miss. Okay, it's better to build a good habit than it is to just throw it out there and hope, right? But from what I'm seeing, if you lose games, it's because you died of map awareness or not enough impact because you're missing arrow, right? That's what I'm thinking so far. Laning seems to be going really well, right? So I don't think we have to worry too much about laning, right? If there's anything for laning, it's just don't die to gank, right? I think that you've been doing really well. You're like, oh, we're trade lane, we just trade, and then you guys automatically win. They didn't know what to do. And then that game, your Nami also caught a bunch of people, so you capitalized on that. It was 10 out of 10. Missing kills and missing opportunities is much less important than making sure you don't throw. Right, because the other team will always throw. I promise you. They will always do it. Always, 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 always. So if you make sure that you never throw, you're automatically winning, right? Like you saw, Kha'Zix just straight up dove into your tower, right? You remember that? You remember that scene?
Yeah, I don't know what he's...
Right, so, you threw, sure, you died to gank, and then he just ran into your tower, so he threw too. So you don't really have to worry. Oh. What happened here? Okay, so volleys, if you want to work on laning, sure, or volleys in general, that could be something to look at. But overall, I think there are really no problems. Oh, what happened here?
I don't even want to watch this again. It's just so tragic. The next
oh, Sona just dies.
Yeah, she just dies.
Not really your fault. You can't help this. You don't want to help that. Oh, you actually almost got him. No way.
No.
I'm surprised. You couldn't have gotten him. There's no way. You're just dead here. You just need to leave. Or you're dead no matter what. Yasuo goes to minions. So, okay, maybe there was kind of a problem this lane, but let's see. Where do we lose Flash? What's going on here? Oh, there's a Rengar gank. I see.
Yeah.
So these kind of mistakes, this is not your fault. So you kind of don't have to worry. If something like this happens and your support screws up, that's not your fault. Okay, don't worry about that, right? Anything like that, you don't worry about. So you just skip past that stuff and then you say unlucky. Not really your fault. Here is maybe something like you could also say not really your fault. So nothing to worry about yet, right? If anything, it's gonna be more of the kind of same ideas as last game. I'm pretty sure. Okay, Hekram's trying to gank. If we arrow Karma here, is this a good idea?
I can't really see her right now, so I would say no. Just wait for her to be like CC.
How about this picture? What should we do in this picture if it's 3v2?
Like start a fight?
Right. So if you guys just start a fight and then you hold on to your arrow, they just automatically lose, right? He's going to use his dash to flash or flash on ulti, and then you hit him, and you're good to go. So I think here we can like walk up and try and do something, but looks like Hekram. Oh. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, you had more people there, so maybe you could have done something. Sure. It's more, it's more of recognizing, how do you win? Oh, we have more people, so you can fight, right? If there's anything about being passive, it might be something like that. We're missing opportunities based on you win because you have more people. That could be something to look at. But what the heck? How'd you hit this? Oh my god, he dashed into it. Oh no. Okay, well, good find, right? You're just gonna kill him, sure. You're dead here though. There's not much you can do about this, but nice try. You maybe could say something like run all the way back to your base, right? Because you're getting Rengar ulted.
Yeah.
But honestly, I wouldn't worry about that too much either, right? Maybe get armor boots. That's about it.
Oh, this was.
So this game looks like a disaster, but kind of. The big ideas I think that would definitely help you the most is something like map awareness is number one. Okay, every time something has happened and they've had more people, it's because you didn't know. Right. Something like mid was missing, Yasuo showed up, bot somehow. We didn't know. Or something like Kha'Zix straight ganked and we didn't know, right? Or Nami was near us. So the first thing I would say you should work on is map awareness, right? Is this is the way you kind of do it. Is anytime you're last hitting or you've pushed a wave or you're at a wave, you look at the map. Okay, and then once you look at the map, what do? You say, where are they? So where are they?
We don't know.
All right, so I would say something like, okay, Lucian, Karma, Yasuo, those are the people that can come for me, right? And then I say, where could they possibly be in the worst spot for me? And then you say, this bush. Right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then this is how I do it. Is I like, oh, those 3 champions are coming for me in this bush. And then I see Yasuo in this fight or whatever. Then you say, okay, just Karma and Lucian. And then you say, can I win? And you say no. So you can't check this bush, right? You can even say Lucian just 1v1s you, which he does, right? You can't. There's no way to win against Lucian because he's all in, right? You need to somehow land arrow and get your Q going and dodge his Q, right? Which is, I don't think, possible. You need a lot of things here, and if you face check, it's definitely not possible, right? And your arrow is also low, not on cooldown. So I think one of the biggest ideas you should definitely look at is this arrow idea too is map awareness. Okay, this is what you do every single game now and the next 20 games, and after that, just every single game is you want to do something, right? You want to clear this wave, okay? And then you look at the map, you identify who's missing and you say, where are they? And then you go back to, you do what you do based on that information, right? You see, oh, Rengar's not here, can't gank. Then you can clear this for whatever reason, right? But that's the big idea, is that you have to look at the map before you do kind of anything, right? We need to do this. We need to use this idea to the extreme, if that makes any sense, right? You need to spam check the map, right? Otherwise, there's just not much you can do. I think this game was really unlucky, so it's not something you worry about, right? This game is something like, oh, you just work on your map awareness and landing arrows, but I think your team was it was just boom from level 3 or whatever when Sona first died, right? I wouldn't worry about this too much, right? Like your support suicided, then your mid lane suicided. There's not too much you can do. So, oh my god, I thought I was gonna hit both of them. Nice try, but you're gonna get both these guys here. You're just dying to Rengar if you chase. Oh, I think we're dying to Rengar here. So, oh, are we out? I think we're out. He's gonna win wall that if you're not careful. Oh, okay. He could have win walled it, right? So the other thing you want to look at is arrow usage, right? These 2 things I think are the biggest what's it called, areas you could work on in your gameplay. And then when it comes to after lane, anytime you get side wave, okay, we'll call that good. Okay, don't worry about that for now. You're doing good. Just know that you're doing good. Sure, if your team's trying to do something, take a look and see if you can help. But for the most part, arrow usage and not knowing where people are on the map are what's kind of making you lose games, from what I'm seeing, right?
Okay.
So the way you work on it is, obviously you know how to work on arrow. It's just don't use it. Don't use it until you know, right? It's too many times when you just don't have it when you should, or it's pretty much you just don't have it when you should, right? In the middle of a fight or after a fight or whatever. We just don't have arrows, so we can't use it. You don't want to fight this unless you can arrow him in like 3 seconds. Oh, right. But this game's kind of, you don't worry about games like this, right? Just work on map awareness and landing arrows, right? The two big ideas. Everything else is pretty good, right? From what we saw, team fighting looked really good. Oh, how do we know we don't want to arrow that, for example?
I guess.
Right, there's counterplay, right? There's a wind wall. So what do? You hold on to it, right? The answer is always going to be hold on to it, right? If you make a mistake with arrow, it's always, oh, you should have held on to it, right? I don't think we've ever seen a time where it's like you should have used it, right? Maybe like once or twice versus the other 10 times when you shouldn't have used it, right? So definitely take a look at that. But I would say the biggest one is map awareness, right? Whenever you like, okay, do this after you CS a minion, look at the map. Okay, that's the fastest way to improve map awareness is always looking at the map, right? I'm looking at the map more than I look at my screen. A lot of games is anytime you're shopping, anytime you're running from base, anytime you're in lane and you don't know where the jungler is, you're looking at the map, right? You're like, okay, where could he be, right? That's what I want you to do for like 10, 20 games. And when you haven't died to any kind of map awareness related issues, then you can start working on something else. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So yeah, this is definitely number one because you need to know where they are. Otherwise, how do you know when to arrow or when not to arrow, right? Let's take a look at like you say you're playing too passive when it comes to how come we're not we kind of have a lead or maybe we can do something but we don't do it. How do I know that you can arrow these guys? Right here.
Because we see Rengar, we see Trend, we see Yasuo.
So how come you didn't know? So you need to look at the map is the first step. We just didn't know that they couldn't stop us, right? This is how you know. You just walk up and hit them. It's the instant you see it's 3v2. This is automatic win, right? So this is why looking at the map is the first step is because you can't really make any decisions unless you have the information, right? So definitely anytime you're trying to do something, okay, this is what you do. When you last hit a CS, look at the map, ask yourself where are they, and then look back to your screen, okay? After you finished pushing a wave, look at the map, ask where they are, and then go back to your screen. And then anytime you're coming to a wave, you do the same thing, okay? So when you're coming to a wave, when you're CSing a wave, and after you push a wave, you're doing it. Does that make sense? Hello?
Sense.
Hello? I think you cut out there. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Sometimes it just cuts out for a long time, but yes, that does make sense.
Right. So practice that like now and for like until you are a map awareness god. Until you start back pinging your team because you know where they are. That's how good we want you to get at map awareness, right? I think that's like the biggest thing that I'll help you from what I saw, right? If you lose games, it's because you died to some kind of gank or you're missing arrow. That's it. From what I saw, everything was really good, right? Team fighting was really good. It's just that sometimes you just didn't know where they were and you died, right? That's what I think at least. Even in cases like this where your mid laner just comes down and kills himself, you would know not to hit this Rengar because Yasuo is coming, for example. Right? You would say, oh, you just need to run back to your tower because Yasuo is coming, right? And then you would have lived, for example, right? Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So yeah, that's kind of the big idea, I think. Also, how did he just up and kill himself? I don't get it. Oh, is this a bug with you can't see your teammates' ultis? I think that's a bug. But yeah, he was trying to kill Rengar and then it didn't work for whatever reason, and then he just died too. So it's just unfortunate all around, huh?
I'm just curious, like what about like.
Wait, say that again. I think you cut out again. I didn't.
Sorry. Like, what bug were you talking about?
Oh, back here, you see these black dots. You see that, right? It's just like you don't know if he has ulti. So I think it got fixed later. Like now Hecarim has ulti or something, but it was really weird. So I was just like, oh, it's kind of weird. I couldn't tell if he used his ulti in a fight or not, but whatever, right? But yeah, definitely map awareness is number one, I would say. So work on that. Let me know how that goes because we didn't really get to see too much, team fighting or late game stuff, but it seemed like you were doing, good on those fronts. If anything, the fights were because you're missing arrow or something like that, right? I wouldn't worry about. Yeah, the only thing I would worry about is map awareness and your arrows. So.
Well, I can't wait to be looking at the map a lot more.
Right. You need to always know where they are. Like a single mistake Remember, a single map awareness mistake that leads to your death in the mid game or in the laning phase, we call a throw, right? It's because we could have known. We just didn't know because we didn't look at the map or something like that. So, that's the first thing. And the second thing is once this is squeaky clean, right? You know everything about the map, you know where they are at all times, right? Then you say, okay, we're gonna hold on to our arrow until we know 100%. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, cool. If there's anything to work on after those two things, it would be something like, when our team is trying to do something. This is still map awareness related, right? But when you look at the map and you see your team is trying to do something, you ask yourself, can I help? Right? You go take a look. Can you help? The answer is yes, go help. The answer is no, go do something good for yourself, right? Like your team started 4v5 on the top side of the map and you're at bottom. You just spam back ping, you push bot. There's nothing else you can do, right? But the important idea is, you need to know what your team is doing. So look at the map, see what your team is doing, then do something based off that information, right? And is there anything? If there's anything else after that, it'd be something like probably something teamfighter related, but we didn't really get to see any of it. It's too many of those. It seemed like you did really well, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. It's just these first two things, and then maybe the third. So map awareness for sure, then your arrows, and I'd say you'd be good to go. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Let me know how that goes. Do you have any last questions or anything like that?
I think so. It was really helpful.
All right, cool. If you do come up with questions, feel free to message me on Discord. I'm always around. But if that's all, then good luck in your games. I'll upload this to YouTube, send the link to you, and then you can let me know if you have any questions then. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. All right, good luck in your games, man. I'm excited to see how you do afterwards. So let me know how things go.
All right. Yeah, you too.
See ya.